Okay, here we go. Top 10. Number 10. Doctor Strange brought true magic to the MCU, with unparalleled visual effects and action structured like an intricate multi-dimensional puzzle that I'm still recovering from. Look, whereas certain other in-suit films avoid death like, well, we all avoid death. Doctor Strange shows us how death gives life meaning. It brings maturity to the MCU that makes Strange a key role in Infinity War and in Endgame, and thanks to the multiverse established here, the possible madness is now endless.
Dormammu, I've come to bargain.
You've come to die. Your world is now my world.
Number 9. Spider-Man Homecoming brought home a beloved hero just by embracing what we already loved about him, his DIY ingenuity, his Avengers standing, and his hilarious propensity to things because he is a child, Mr. Stark. Homecoming was really a studio win-win, but for us, it changed the game for the Spider-Verse and for the MCU.
Don't do anything I would do, and definitely don't do anything I wouldn't do. There's a little gray area in there, and that's where you operate.
What, does that mean that I'm an Avenger?
No. Is it? 7th floor.
Number 8. Avengers Endgame. Of course we all love this 3000. It delivered endless character payoffs, brilliant fan service, and iconic fireworks, so really it's easy to cast a blind eye to the indulgent subplots and some needlessly confusing logic. Really, Endgame shield to the self-criticism is less of a film than a climactic event that half of Hollywood took pardon, and even though other movies on this list structure their scripts a bit more tightly, Avenger Endgame fulfilled all of its promises in more.
And I am Iron Man.
Number 7. Black Panther. With obsessively detailed world building and deeply resonant themes, Black Panther showed that representation and diversity aren't creative sacrifices. They open us up to beautiful worlds, beloved characters, heartbreaking truths that challenge the MCU but also gave it gifts that enriched other stories. It's a shame that that final battle underwhelmed, since you know that's how so many fans judged this genre. But hey, Wakanda is the one Marvel setting I cannot wait to revisit. Number 6. Iron Man kicked off the Infinity Saga with so many of its signature elements: heartfelt redemption, cutting humor, sleek tech made from box props, and how much fun a binging can be when you weren't wasting energy on anonymity. It's insane how the oldest MCU film still feels like it came out last year, and that's because every film that followed is really trying to do their version of what Robert Downey Jr. and Jon Favreau perfected in Iron Man.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Number 5. Avengers Infinity War. Now, Infinity War should not have worked with leagues of disconnected heroes, all trying in different ways to stop a nutso-cosmos-wide problem, but the filmmakers boldly let Thanos take over the narrative as its inevitable protagonist, or saying everyone else to join a well-paced death march of dark twists and red wedding-level gut punches. Endgame is the fairy tale ending, but Infinity War was the Empire Strikes Back nightmare cliffhanger that keeps us clinging at a fear of the plunge.
Who the hell are you guys?
Number 4. Thor Ragnarok. Taika Waititi rescued a franchise with much-needed satire, but also a eyes recognition of the revolutionary themes at the heart of Norse myth, death and rebirth. Ragnarok truly transforms Thor. He loses everything. He stands a woman who isn't into him romantically, and finally he grows as a person. Also, Ruffalo gets to show off his comedic vulnerabilities as well as hoaxes, even more hilarious fragile meathead identity. And now, after this movie, I want to see spin-offs of everyone in it. That says something.
That hammer was to help you control your power, to focus it. It's never your source of strength.
Number 3. The Avengers. Now, look, Joss Whedon has taken some hits for later projects. But we cannot forget how much of a crucial win this first Avengers was. He had an impossible task of interweaving disparate egos, some of them better known and liked than the others, but like Nick Fury in this film, Joss Whedon combined their strengths and their weaknesses in fascinating cocktails to produce a redemptive, satisfying team victory. This movie fixed Hulk. It fixed Thor by making him a complement to Loki instead of the other way around. It introduced Thanos and whole Infinity arc, and it gave us a Tony versus Cap spat rustier than anything we saw in Civil War. Really, Avengers gave the MCU a roadmap for how to approach Avengers-level threats together.
No offense, but I don't play well with others.
Big man in a suit of armor. Take that away, what are you?
Genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist.
Okay, my top 2 films scored the same. Most days of the week, I love them equally, but upon this rewatched series, one has impressed me just a bit more than the other. So first, number 2, Captain America, The Winter Soldier. The Russo brothers' first MCU film brought such humanity and emotional stakes to the MCU, that they were basically given the case of the kingdom from there forward, and rightfully so. As a morally complex espionage thriller, it demands reflection that just because we're the heroes of her own stories doesn't make us soldiers fighting on the right side of history. The action is tense. This movie burns down the house so dramatically at first, ages the shield to retitle itself, and it left the ashes of the MCU as fertile ground for future stories.
Looks like you're giving the orders now, Captain.
Damn right.
Number 1, Guardians of the Galaxy. Look, while Winter Soldier changed Marvel's game on Earth, in the year 2014, in the same year James Gunn did it everywhere else in the universe. To me, Guardians of the Galaxy has it all. A powerful redemption story about broken freaks forming a family, all set to an awesome diegetic mixtape, with a deeper level of mystery than we realized in CU contributions that gave the Infinity Saga its whole backstory, its villain, and a cosmic aesthetic that would have made Ragnarok, Infinity War, Endgame impossible without it. Hilarious action that escalated into a dance-off to save the universe. Like, it could argue this is the MCU's first musical, but to top this all off, the reason it gets to 10 out of 10 on Risk. Folks, before 2014, this is Marvel's least known IP that they were making into a movie. These weren't Avengers with famous reference points to just plug in for easy fanservice dunks. James Gunn poured his soul into this. He taught us about this family and he made us care about each of them. But more impressively, he made us care about all of them. And that is the direction I think we are almost excited to see Marvel go in its future.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
What a bunch of a-holes.